Okay, Spokane Zero Waste just got an amazing donation of vintage textiles, including sheets, which is one of my favorite textiles to upcycle. Now, one of the things we do with our donated textiles is we incorporate them into our sustainable sewing program. So one of my favorite jobs is to test out new patterns and see if they would work for an upcoming class. And that's what we're going to do today. So today I'm testing the Kythera wide leg wrap beach pants for Mood. It's a free pattern. You know I love a good free pattern. So our executive director and I yesterday picked out this sheet right here. It's probably from the 70s. It's bright and vibrant, perfect for summer, and it is just a lightweight cotton sheet. I can tell I'm gonna have some extra left over, so there may be a bonus with this one. I may end up able to make a top or something coordinating. So one of the things that I will predict is that it will take me a shorter amount of time to actually make these pants than it did putting the pattern pieces together. Depending on your size, you may not need all of the pages. There are no layers for this pattern, unfortunately. So I did have to print out all of them. And then if I don't use the sheets, I just put them back in my printer pile and I just print on the other side. There's gonna be some waste, but trying to eliminate as much as we can. So this, friends, is the pattern piece. So I'm hopeful that this will be a simple and confident building project for my beginning sewist, but I always want to test the patterns first just to make sure. Also with Mood patterns, if you've ever used them, the instructions can be a little unclear at times. However, since this is a pretty simple project, I think we're going to be okay for all skill levels. And let us know in the comments if you're one of the people like me that immediately go to the textile section in the thrift store and are constantly on the hunt for sheets. They are just some of the best textiles that you can find, especially because you're going to find unique patterns that not everyone's going to have. And that, my friends, is such a great way to customize your wardrobe and make it your own. So my hope for today is that not only do we finish this pair of pants, but we have time to make a matching top or maybe an accessory. Who knows? We'll see where the day takes us. But let's dive in. Pattern, it does just tell you to finish the seam however works best for you. You know, a serger will work, an overlock stitch. A lot of our modern machines actually do have like an overcast or overlock stitch on the machine. The Singer Heavy Duty, if you are familiar with that machine, which is the one that I use, does have that stitch. I tend not to use it though. Yes, it does help prevent the fraying of the fabric, but for me, it looks sloppy. So I'm just pinning with our wrong sides together. I did already stitch this once and I seam picked it because I was gonna try not doing French seams since I'm testing this for a class, but I feel that honestly it takes the same amount of time to do a French seam that it does to finish the edge with just like an overlock stitch. So we're going with this method. Now this pattern does have a 1/2 inch seam allowance, which makes your life so much easier when it comes to French seams, because when you're doing French seams, you're essentially breaking up that seam allowance so that you can stitch it together and then you fold it in half and stitch it again, and it encases all of those raw edges. So it's so easy. But what I need to do is break up that seam allowance to do the French seam. So we're gonna start with a 1/4 inch seam allowance here with wrong sides together. Then we'll press it really well so that it's a nice flat seam, and then we'll go back over and do another 1/4 inch after we trim off the excess. So we have our finished crotch seam using French seams. Again, whichever method you want to use, but we're just using that 1/2 inch seam allowance. So now we have our crotch done. Then we need to do the side seams. So with the side seams, what you just need to keep in mind is the legs are going to be, they're going to be visible. And the reason for that is because it's a wrap pant. So they're going to kind of float in the wind. So we don't want to do just like an overlock stitch or a serge stitched on here. We're also not stitching them together because they need to be open. They're going to wrap to close. So with the directions, they say to do 1/4 of an inch double rolled hem. So what that just means is that you would start with 1/4 of an inch, you would roll it under, and then you would take another 1/4 of an inch, roll it under, and then stitch that seam all the way down. It encases all the raw edges. It looks great, and it's a nice finished edge. So number one, you can use a seam gauge, right? You can take this and you can measure out exactly, okay, so you can do 1/4 of an inch here and mark it in a marking tool all the way down your sides. You can also just eyeball it. Honestly, that's what I typically do, but because I wanted to show you what this looks like, also I wanted to see how long it would take so that I could show my students. One of the tips that I share with my students when it comes to seams is if you are doing a rolled hem, you can just use an extra row of stitches as kind of your seam gauge, right? So you just stitch that even seam all the way down. In this case, I did a little bit less than 1/4 of an inch, but it's around 1/4 of an inch. So I just stitched all the way down both legs, and then I'll be able to go over to the iron and use that stitching line right there as my fold line. Then I'll press that in place. Then I can go back and then press it in place one more time and then stitch all the way down. And that's going to, again, give us this really nice clean finish. The one thing you do need to be aware of with this, as opposed to something else that might be a little bit more hidden, is these little white stitches here, you're either gonna need to seam pick them to remove them, or make sure that they are hidden when you fold it over. So I'm going to go through and press all of these seams on the sides and then do that stitch all the way down about 1/4 of an inch. Then we're on to the waistband. Okay, so we have the crotch done. We also have our side seam. So here is what it looks like down the sides. They're going to overlap. So now we're getting pretty close to done. So let's talk about the waistband. I'm looking at the instructions that they provide, and if you are a beginner, it may be a little complicated. So what we're gonna do, there's 2 different waistband pieces because we're gonna have one waistband that goes on the front and one waistband that goes on the back. They're exactly the same. But what we need to do first with both of our waistbands before we even get close to attaching it is prepare them. And so the instructions say fold long ways and then press to the center. Essentially kind of like I would say like a bias binding. So we're going to go over to the iron and we're going to start by pressing both pieces of the waistband in half, okay? So we're gonna start there. That will give us the center line. Once we do that, we'll come back and we'll fold in both of these pieces like this. But we also need to make sure we fold in this piece as well. So we will press this piece inside. That way we'll get a nice clean edge, right? Because we don't want this hanging out. So want to know the difference between an edge that looks like this versus a perfect edge that looks like this. It's how you stitch them together. So once you press under your edges, okay, so you have wrong side, right side, this is pressed under. What you're gonna do is just, for this particular piece, you're gonna fold those 2 so that they meet right in the center, just like this. And then we're gonna fold it in half, like this, and then you're gonna stitch along that edge right there. So now, here's our right side. What we need to do is we just need to trim that corner just a little bit, then turn it right side out, give the corner a little poke, and then we'll give it a press. And now this corner is nice and clean for the waistband, and it takes so much less time. Now we have both of our waistbands and we're ready to attach them. So your both of the waistbands are exactly the same length, same width, same everything. So it doesn't matter if you put them on the front or the back. So let's talk about how to put on this waistband. This is actually a very simple process. So first thing we need to do is find the center of one of our straps. So we're just gonna fold it in half, and then we're gonna find center, which is right there. And I'm just gonna put a pin in here just to mark that for me on this one. And then we'll do the same on this piece. And how we're gonna put this on is we've already folded under all of our raw edges and everything like that. So what we just need to do is find the center, which we've already done here, and then our center is here. So we are going to open it up like a little sandwich, and we're gonna place this inside at that center area. And then we can, once again, pin that all together in place. And then I'm gonna do this all the way down, so just opening up that little sandwich there, making sure that it goes all the way up to the top so that it's even all the way down. And we're doing this on both sides. So now all we need to do, we have this open edge all the way across. So all we're gonna do is just stitch, we're gonna edge stitch all the way until we get to this piece here, and then we're just going to continue all the way down and all the way down to the other end. So we'll do it on one side, and then we'll do this on the other side. And then the last thing to do is just the hem of the pants. Okay, I finished them and they are adorable. But before I show you what they look like, I decided we still have time today. We finished these pretty quickly. So this is definitely a very quick sew, even with adding in the French seams. This is one of those super beginner friendly projects that you can make and feel really confident and proud in. But when I tried these on, I was totally getting, easy, breezy, super summer of love hippie vibes. And so I decided that I want to make a halter top. Now, I don't wear a lot of halter tops, but I feel that with these pants, that would be just a nice little summer set to wear when we get into those 100-degree days. Went into my pattern collection and I found this pattern right here. So in the chat, before I tell you what year this pattern is from, can you tell by the image what year? So go ahead and type that in and then I'll tell you. This is from 1972. 1972. Now, it is not my size. So here's another little thing. When I'm outsourcing patterns, I'm typically, I do want to find things in my size, but I also understand how pattern construction works and that I can use patterns as a base to adjust as necessary. So this pattern is way too small for me. This is, I think, like at least 2 sizes too small, which if I were going to make the pants or the shorts, this would be a lot more complicated to adjust, but I just want to make a halter. So I could self-draft a halter, right? Just do a triangle, add straps to the top and the bottom, call it a day. But if they've already done most of the work for us, why start from scratch? So I have the top piece. It's all ripped up. In fact, they look like they already altered it and made it even smaller. But we're just going to use this as our, like I said, our base. And I'm going to use it as the shape that I want to do and just add probably a good 1.5 to 2 inches around the edges. And then we'll kind of go from there and try things on. There are no darts in this. There's nothing in this that's going to give it any sort of structure. So, we can kind of play with the shape a little bit. And we'll see how that goes. And then I'll put it all together and show you the final look. All right, well, I am living my 70s fashion dreams at the moment. Both of these pieces really go together. Now, I've really styled these pants in this, really retro vintage style, and that's primarily because of the fabric I chose. Oh, I also want to give a quick little shout out to Kitschy Cactus. They're an amazing small business. They are online. I don't wear a lot of jewelry just because of my sensory issues, but I do have these in my collection for special occasions, and this fit definitely a special occasion. So the pants themselves, there's a lot of movement. They are going to be great as a cover up. Lighter fabrics definitely are going to work the best. So a sheet is definitely a good choice for these pants. But you don't want anything really a lot thicker because it is meant to be loose and flowy. If you do anything a little bit thicker, it's not going to have that drape that you're looking for. Also, if you are a modest dresser, like me. You may contemplate putting in some like modesty snaps or buttons just on the side. So that would just be a simple alteration, just adding in like a little snap where you don't want it to fly up. As for the pants, thumbs up. This pattern, this free pattern from Mood, I think it's definitely worth downloading. Honestly, these came together very quickly, and there's so many ways that you can customize them to change the shape. So I definitely would recommend this pattern, especially if you're looking for something fun to add to your summer wardrobe. I still have so many different projects on my to-do list, and I'd love to hear from all of you what you'd like to see me upcycle next. So that's it, everybody. Until next time, see ya!